buddies! Welcome back to this very special episode of Buddy Talk with me, your host, Paul Palelli. And as you can see, I'm not inside my lounge, but instead, I'm in the lovely city of Yogyakarta. Now, as you may well know, Yogyakarta is a city that is rich with art, culture, history, and royalty as well. So, without any further Sorry about that, guys. A little interruption. Anyway, without any further ado, come take a ride with me and let's see what this amazing place has to offer as Buddy Talk goes to Yogyakarta. Monggo, Pak. Yogyakarta is remarkable not only for its culture, but also its government. In electing a governor, Yogyakarta does not hold a regional head election like other regions in Indonesia, but they are appointed by the descendants of the Sultan. Since October of 1989, Yogyakarta has been governed by Sultan Hamengkubuwono X. The Sultan has 5 daughters, Gusti Kanjeng Ratu Mangkubumi, Gusti Kanjeng Ratu Condrokirono, Gusti Kanjeng Ratu Maduretno, Gusti Kanjeng Ratu Hayu, and Gusti Kanjeng Ratu Bendoro. Well, buddies, on this very special episode of Buddy Talk, we're going to meet the 2 princesses of Ngarsa Dalem. How similar are the lives of these real-life princesses to those that we see in those Disney movies? Well, we're about to find out. Gusti Hayu, hi.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
Great to
How are
meet you. I'm great. Have a seat. Thanks for having us at the Royal Palace here, by the way.
Of course, anytime.
It's lovely here in Yogyakarta.
Glad you like it.
So tell us a little bit about this area itself. Is this usually a place that is used for performances such as this?
Well, Keraton Yogyakarta, when it's still its own country before
Yes.
we joined with Indonesia, this is off limit for the public.
Okay.
So this is like the building over there used to be the court, and this was used for something else for meeting.
Okay.
But after joining Indonesia, of course, our judicial system becomes one with Indonesia, and this place is mostly a museum now.
Okay.
And we are using this since it's been like several decades, and now
Right.
it's being used for performance for the tourists here.
Right. So now we're actually watching some of the dancers practicing one of the dances, and I mentioned it's called Srimpi Pandalori. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Okay, this was created by the 6th Sultan.
Wow. Okay.
So it's about like 1855
very old.
to 1877, yeah. Basically, Srimpi means that it's being danced by 4 dancers, female dancers.
Okay.
And then Pande means ironworks.
Oh, okay.
But when they are fully clothed
Yes.
with the full costume,
Right.
these dancers actually carries guns,
Oh, weapons.
weapons, and they have arrow and keris, small keris.
Right.
So it's a story about a fight between 2 goddesses,
Oh, okay.
but they are equal in strength.
So who wins?
It resolved in peace.
I like it. I like how it ends, actually. Very nice.
So
Okay.
the story itself, Japanese dances,
Yeah.
they are full of symbolism. So
Right.
it doesn't really like literally tell a story.
So now that this is open for the public, we see tourists coming to visit. Because this is not put on very often, right? The dance performances, they're only put on for special occasions.
Dances in the palace, they have grades,
Okay.
and Srimpi, one of the sacred
The
dances.
more
that-
rare ones,
Yes.
right? Okay.
So it has sometimes, to perform it, you have to be in the presence of the Sultan.
I see. Okay.
And that's especially true for Bedoyo. And
Right.
that's the highest grade.
Okay.
It's danced by 9 dancers.
All right.
Lately, the interest of our performances have increased significantly. I
Right.
think it's also thanks to the exposure that we have online.
Right.
So for the dancers, for the traditional dancers, actually there's a strict curriculum.
Okay.
there's a standardized curriculum, and Srimpi Pandolori is actually taught, I think about after they reach a certain level.
Ah, okay. Only the very best can perform
but
it.
to actually perform it, that's another matter.
Okay.
So if it's just for practice, anyone can practice. But to actually perform it, it's, you have to have like certain requirements to do that.
You mentioned that there's been a greater interest now, especially in regards to the royal activities because of the online presence.
Yes.
I think you have a lot to do with that, being partly one of your roles is as Minister of Communications and Information as well. You are very active on social media. Can you tell us a little bit about your role, not just as a Gusti, but as somebody who is actually helping to, spread information electronically, because that's how we're able to access things these days.
So the division itself is very young compared to the others, because of course back then there was no camera, there's no internet. So it was established in 2012. It's called Tondo Yekti. The job description is very simple. I'm tasked with documentation and IT, and that's it.
That's all.
That's all. I have a free reign on how I want to do things. But on 2013, I got married, and then suddenly there's a lot of great interest about Keraton, the palace itself. But I noticed also I travel a lot. I studied overseas as well. It's very difficult to access the correct information about the culture in Keraton and traditional dances. So the information that goes out is only like, oh, Srimpi Pandolori, it's about this and that. But
standard information.
Yes.
Right.
But like I said, Japanese culture is full of symbolism. So they don't actually understand what this represents, like the movement, dance routine. They don't necessarily understand that.
Right.
So that's why I try to, in this age, you don't have social media, pretty much you don't exist.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? And we have so many knowledge inside the palace that don't go out. So that's why I proposed to my father that it's time that we have a social media.
Right.
And my father says, okay, just make one. And
it's been going very well since, by the way.
It's been going well, but doesn't mean that it wasn't difficult.
I'm sure everything has its challenges as well, but obviously you're the right person to be in charge of that as part of the concrete form of not only preserving the culture, but sharing it with the rest of the world as well.
Yeah, because also when people see traditional dances, especially the younger generation, they say it's something old-fashioned. Especially with the male dancers, once they reach like junior high, high school, quite a lot of them are actually being made fun by their peers. Because the Japanese dancers, they're pretty much slow moving.
Right.
So it looks feminine for the men, so a lot of them are being made fun of by their peers.
So there's less interest from men.
Yes. So with the help of the social media and my husband, I think it was in 2019 or something, we had flash mob.
Oh, nice.
To show that we have younger generations doing traditional dance, and they look absolutely cool doing that.
Sure.
And it has been generating a lot of interest after that.
That's amazing. That's great. We're going to actually take a short break, but we've got so much more to discuss with you when we return to stay with us here on Buddy Talk. We'll be right back after this. Hey buddies, back with us again as Buddy Talk goes to Keraton, Yogyakarta. I'm still here with Gusti Hayu. Gusti, I want to know, tell us about how mandatory dancing is for a sultan princess. Is it something you've had to learn growing up as well? Is it something as part of your daily routine?
Well, actually, for traditional dances itself, it's actually part of education in the palace. So even back then, the first sultan and the crown prince are well known to actually dance together. Part of that's part of the education.
Right.
But going, lately with the change of time and everything else, well, my first and second sister, they started dancing when they were really young.
Okay.
My parents tried with me and my younger sister, but usually when the teacher comes, when the teacher came, I will just say, "Oh, I need to get some water," and then I just hide until she went home.
My 7-year-old daughter does that with online school all the time. Don't worry. So, out of the 5 of you, I guess all of you did have dance training, some more than others. Who would you say is the most naturally skilled?
My eldest sister.
Okay.
She's really good.
All right.
She's really good, and she travels overseas a lot for that.
Diplomatic relations then. While teaching dancing. Yeah, that's nice.
Well, I just started when I did my master's degree in New York.
Oh, you started late.
Very late, but it was mostly because of my husband.
Right.
He started going to the Consulate General in New York. They have gamelan club there. And he was like, start playing gamelan. Why don't you dance?
So he was the one who encouraged you. That's nice. Okay. That's one way or another, right?
Yes.
So would you say out of the 5 of you, you were the one who skipped classes the most when it came to dance? At the coronation of the 27th Sultan ceremony, if I'm not mistaken, you danced Budaya Tirta Hayuningrat.
Budaya Tirta, yep.
Okay. Can you tell us the meaning and the philosophy behind that dance?
That's the creation of my father. The story itself is symbolized by Arjuna and his wives. So 5 wives of Arjuna.
All right.
Like I said, Budaya has 9 dancers. 1 is symbolizing Arjuna, 3 is symbolizing the water,
All right.
and then 5 is symbolizing the wives. The wives, they have certain characters that are more well known. Like one goddess is for their strength, the other is for their wisdom, and so they carry different weapons.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and yeah, it's full of symbols like that. Even the batik that they have, usually for one performance they wear the same thing, but each of them is the batik motif is different depending on what their weapon is. Okay.
So each weapon, I suppose, would represent each of the strengths that they.
So basically, the whole dance is symbolizing, our journey on Earth, and what do you have to do to be a good person, basically.
So listen, we actually brought you a little something. I think we have it.
Okay.
There you go. Have my my makeup artist, my mock makeup artist, give it to you. So this is for you, but I'm gonna give it to you there. I would like you to explain what it is because I'm not familiar. It looks familiar because I know this character, but I would like to know why, what this is, and why you're laughing so much.
Yeah, so one of my passion is actually reading manga.
Okay, you mentioned that you like coming home from school and you like reading comics, so this must be it.
Since I was a kid until now.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So one of my, some people just like to turn on Netflix and everything. Yeah, I turn on anime.
Okay.
And this has been one of the longest running anime ever.
So when you were young, this was already in existence.
Yeah, so I think it's like in the episode of 1,000 something.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So this is your favorite?
One of my favorites,
One of your favorites. Well, anyway, there you go. So hope you have a place to hang it somewhere. There's plenty of places in the Royal House Palace. Hope you can find it. So again, you're very active and you're familiar with social media. And Indonesians have this, there's this phenomenon. When I came here and I actually was able to use the term princess and sultan the way it should be used, but we hear the word sultan all the time.
Yeah.
Or you hear it on Instagram, or my friends say it to each other, not perhaps knowing the actual meaning, but not using it in the proper way. For example, Raffi Ahmad is nicknamed as Sultan Andara. I guess that's from where he lives. Or Juragan 99 as Sultan Malang, Andre Taulani as Sultan Bintaro. As somebody who actually is a sultan's daughter, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, sometimes, when I read, this
Correct.
Anak Sultan have this and that, I was like, do we have that? Because I remember one time I read in Twitter, like, this is the lipstick of Anak Sultan. I think one of the vice minister in the younger ones, they wear Christian Louboutin lipstick, right? This is the lipstick of Anak Sultan. I was like, I don't have those.
Really?
Those are expensive.
Because there's good and bad. I see it as good as perhaps they're saying, wow, it's royalty, like only royalty could have this. But then I would see the downside of it is, not all royalty goes out and buys supercars and fancy things like that. So that's, I believe, the downside of it. And I believe that's what gives the word a bad name. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
it's more like you use it to flaunt what you have.
Correct, and that's not what it is.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, in the meantime, we are still witnessing the dance practice. I myself, as I'm a little bit of an amateur dancer. I am having a problem keeping a straight face saying that. So, seeing as you watch dances all the time, I would like you to rate a couple of dances that I've done for Buddy Talk, and let's see what you think of it. Perhaps on a scale of 1 to 10. Here's a little TikTok dance that I did. This is called the Watch It Once TikTok Challenge. Old men like me shouldn't be doing dances like this. 1 to 10?
That was an 8, I think.
Wow, really? Wow, I wouldn't even rate myself an 8.
You look like you enjoyed it
I
very
did.
much.
I had a great time. You're very generous. Probably not going to get so much of a higher score on this one. Have a look. This was went viral a little while ago. Not my video, but I was trying to follow a viral video. That one I watched plenty of times. I still didn't get it right. All right, we need a rating from you, 1 to 10.
Okay, that one was a 4.
Yeah, I agree. I would probably. You're being very generous there as well too. Okay, so this has been great, by the way, watching this dance practice. Thank you.
I think we have to have something to eat.
Oh, wow, really? Perfect. I'm getting hungry. I don't know what time it is, but I'm getting hungry. So that's perfect idea. Where are we going?
Let's go. Let's go to Ballet House.
All right, perfect.
This is Ballet House,
I know you're here.
and this is my sister.
Hi. Paul. Nice to meet
Bendoro.
you. Thanks for having us. Have a seat.
Yes.
Okay, so it's lunchtime, which is why we're here.
Yes.
You're here already. Great.
Starting with iced tea.
Awesome. Okay, so I have a 7-year-old daughter at home that would be thrilled to know that I'm sitting down at a table with 2 real-life princesses. So I cannot go home without asking this question. How would you say your lives are similar to the princesses that we see in movies, let's say those Disney movies?
Well, it's a Disney story.
Right.
And we are living in a real world.
Okay.
And the similarities are we all have problems.
True.
True.
Good point.
Not as easy as what in the story.
Okay. All right.
It's harder in real life.
Yeah.
But well, I think some of the characteristic of the Disney princesses probably similar with our sisters and I.
Okay, so good thing you should bring that up because I do have a list of most of the Disney princesses here, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of the movies as well. Do all 5 of you have different characteristics, would you say?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm
We
going
all
to...
tough women.
All right. So I will show you a list of them, and I want you to have a look, and then I would like you to compare who do you think... Go ahead, have a scroll at it. And who do you think... Start matching up your sister, starting with, I guess, your oldest.
Well, our Gusti Mangku,
Mhm.
it's more like
I would say Elsa.
Oh, Elsa.
yes,
Very independent.
Yes.
Okay.
very wise.
Mhm.
And I think she has magical powers for my standards because she's very calm, and
Yeah.
her patience is something that we don't have.
Ooh,
So
okay.
that's the magical power that she
All right.
has.
So
Yeah.
very much like Elsa.
I'm probably like Anna. What do you think?
Anna.
Like,
The
Well,
younger
yeah,
of the frozen
always
sisters.
annoying the older sister. Yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Getting into the other's
Yeah.
nerves. Okay.
making mistakes and
Nagging.
Nagging.
and- yeah.
But Anna's fun. Anna's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Anna's a lot of
care
fun.
a lot about their sister.
Yes.
Yeah, her
very
sister.
true.
I think it's our second sister
Yes.
is either Tiana or
Alright.
Moana,
Oh, okay. How come?
because she's a hard worker, and she doesn't rely on her partner.
Oh, okay.
Very independent.
Independent.
Very independent.
Okay.
Yes. For me, I think I'm Merida
Hmm.
because
Interesting.
yeah, this
Brave,
not
right?
wanting to get married at a young age.
okay.
That what caught my eyes.
Good
But-
things come to those who wait, they say, so don't worry.
But no, because I think it's similar. I was pushing 30,
Hmm.
and when I reached 29, I was busy looking for a scholarship for my
Right.
master degree.
Focusing on education.
Yes.
Okay.
So there was a lot of relatives that been clamoring, you have to get married, you're going to get expired anytime. yeah, it's very soon. What's Mbak Madu?
Mbak Madu
Last but not least.
She's very kind, actually. She's very,
Cinderella.
Yeah, I think so. Because she's very
Very lovable.
Okay.
yes.
Loved by everybody
she's fun.
surrounding her.
Okay.
She's so much fun.
Yeah, and she's actually very caring.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. So we
Okay.
got good job. So you passed the challenge. You're able to match
We
everything
don't
up.
have crowns though.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's
Yes.
different. By the way, refreshments look very cold and ready for us to consume. What is this, by the way?
This is bir Jawa.
Okay.
It's non-alcoholic.
Okay, I was just gonna say it's not
Yes.
actual beer.
It's not an
Just the
actual
name.
beer. It looks like
Right.
it's not, but it's made of herbs.
Oh, healthy.
Yes.
Oh, much healthier than beer. All right, before we consume these, we are going to take another short break here, but don't go anywhere. Buddy Talk will be right back. This very special episode right after this. Hey folks, back with us again here on Buddy Talk, still with Gusti Hayu and Gusti Bendoro. So, ladies, I want to ask, first of all, it's a very unique outfit you're wearing. Did you just come from somewhere?
Yes. This morning we had a event
Okay.
using a cycling going around a philosophical axis.
Ah,
So the palace, it's actually facing north,
okay.
and then in that axis there is a Tugu, and
Okay.
then the mountain, the Merapi.
Right.
And then behind the palace there is a Panggung Krapia, and then the Parangkusumo,
Ah,
the beach in
All right.
Parangkusumo.
Long route?
Yes, quite hot. So this is the outfit. I'm
All
sorry to meet you
No,
in
it's
this.
very casual. That's what I was going to say because generally, you know, most kids when they picture princesses, we talked about Disney
With
princesses,
dresses and
but
crown.
You guys are very active. You do a lot of activities as well outside of this. In fact, you didn't only spend your time in Yogyakarta or Indonesia. You've gone to school abroad. Gusti Hayu, you went to school in several places in Australia first.
Australia, Singapore, US, England, back to US.
Wow, okay. And how significant was your education overseas in the role that you play today?
We were given a chance to understand how other cultures work
That's nice.
because we don't deal with fellow Indonesians anymore.
No,
Right?
you're right.
To keep up with the world, we have to
You have to know the
understand. Yeah.
Gusti Bendoro, how about you? You've spent time overseas as well.
Yes, my high school, 4 years high school in Singapore,
Okay.
and then in Switzerland, taking tourism and hospitality, and then taking my master degree in heritage and cultural tourism in Edinburgh.
Wow, that must have been nice. So wait, totally different time spans and different countries. So you were all separated then?
Yes.
How long were you apart for?
I
all
think
those
the
years
last time we were together was when I was in high school, when we were in Singapore.
Yes,
Wow.
when I was in 10th grade, and then she was in 12th grade.
Oh,
and then
wow.
after that,
For our undergraduate degree, we have to go our separate ways.
Life happens after that, right?
yeah.
Right, and then
No,
now you're
because
back together.
my father insists that we have to be independent,
Right.
right? So, you know, if we go to the same school, we probably won't have any friends.
You're kind of always stuck together all
Yeah,
the
so
time.
my father was like, no, you go to different countries.
Was that hard on you guys to be apart at first?
at first, yes.
Yeah.
I was.
Yes, freedom from
Well, I was
the
the last kids, you know.
Right.
I always at home when all my sister went abroad,
Right.
and then I'm the last one to go.
Okay.
I passed out in the airport.
Okay, well, lunch is served. This looks
Yes.
amazing, by the way. Terima kasih. What do we got here?
This is a set of nasi blawong.
Okay.
Basically, the rice is with the herb of blawong.
Okay.
And
That's what gives
then-
it that color.
Yes,
Alright.
and then this is usually eaten by for like ceremonial or special events.
Nice.
It's like that. And then this is tapak kucing. It's a cat paw.
Oh, it translates to cat paw.
Yes,
So it actually
tapak
looks like
kucing.
a cat paw, but it's not actually a cat paw. It
No.
looks, what is it made of?
It's a banana
Ah,
with
okay, so it's-
cinnamon.
So it's actually just a
Roll.
banana that's
yes.
rolled into
So
one. It does
the
look like a
banana
cat paw.
is
That's
being
amazing.
flat in the pan, and then it's being rolled, and then put a cinnamon.
So cute. By the way, I have a co-host Stray would love this because he's a cat as well. So, so this is actually the way it's served in a set with the meat and then there's chicken and egg as
Yes.
well. Oh, amazing stuff. All right, while we get prepared to enjoy our lunch, I want to continue our discussion. You guys spent time apart. You're doing your own thing, school, and then starting your own respective families. When you did get back together, and in the limited amount of time that you get to spend together, what kind of stuff do you guys usually talk about?
food.
Well, it's not on purpose, but we usually talk about our work.
Okay.
Because we always spend time during dinner with our father, almost every day.
Okay.
So whoever come to eat dinner with our parents, then they will come.
Okay.
And then in the dinner table, we talk about our organizations,
It's like a
about
status update.
Yeah, like a quick
Yeah.
follow-up on what's happening.
yes,
lately.
and then like that, and then our father as the governor and as the king have the updates from us,
Okay.
from different organizations, because all of us have different organizations.
Yeah, no, I think that's it's important as well because when else are you
That's
gonna
what
get
they
together?
don't show in Disney movies.
Right. Yeah, the updates, the family status updates.
Yes. And our dining table is not that large,
Oh,
not like in
okay.
the story where
Yeah.
you know sit
Right,
at
right.
the end.
But, do you feel? I mean, obviously, there are certain responsibilities and certain roles that you have to play, and it's quite heavy at times. But do you also feel you have certain privileges that you can enjoy as the Sultan's daughter,
Yes.
such as?
Well, the family is pretty much more well off.
Okay.
You know, we get to travel. So
Right.
sometimes, like, when we go for our at least for me, when I went for my undergraduate degree, my father or my mother didn't say like you have to go here, or they just, where do you want to go? Just go.
Okay.
Like that. So I had the freedom to choose wherever I go, because that's our last chance of freedom.
Well, for her, it's more education in a formal way.
Yes.
For me, the privilege more of the education informally.
Yes. Correct.
So basically,
Like what?
because we are the Sultan's daughters, so we able to discuss in a table with the stakeholders that held the decision maker of the current problems, such as the tourism, stunting, those kind of problems. We can sit in the same table as them. I think that's because of the privilege. If not, because of the Sultan's daughter. Probably
Right.
I won't be sitting
True.
and having discussion at the same table.
Right, you won't have the opportunities or the platform to do
Yes.
those things.
And that's very important because that's something that we cannot study in school.
Right.
And then we held certain positions in organizations because we are the Sultan's daughter.
Yeah.
That's something that it's a privilege, but we cannot take it for granted. We have to show them as well that we can.
Yeah.
We given in that position, and then we can do that position.
Take
as well.
advantage
Yeah.
of it, exactly. When you do try to modernize it or try to introduce it outside of Indonesia, is there any sort of pushback?
If it's from outside of Indonesia, I think no. But for me, with what I do with social media and everything, I think it comes from either from the Jogja people themselves or the elder generation.
Very
inside.
traditional, to garner more interest.
Yes,
amongst the
you
men.
know, we want to show that there are younger generations doing
Sure.
traditional dances and they look absolutely cool doing that. But when that came out, we put it on YouTube and social media, Keraton Jogja. The younger generation appreciate it very much. You know, they are very excited to see this kind of thing. But we heard things from the older generations that, you know, the palace dances are sacred. They're not supposed to be performed on the street.
Oh, right.
And they are wearing the street clothes and that's
Right.
not how you do things, that kind of thing.
Okay. Well, you can't make everyone happy.
Well,
right?
yeah, but you know,
very
at the end, that performance, usually every year, it only like 500 people came. At that time, we had 2,000 people
Wow.
came.
Yes, 2,500.
Yes.
I think some of the things that we have grown up with over the times have maybe gotten outdated, including gender discrimination. These days, we encounter, you know, if we do encounter that, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Throughout your days, doing your roles as women, have you ever encountered that throughout your lives? Especially since you hold, I would say, pretty important positions in what you do, respectively.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you guys deal with it? Starting with you, maybe.
Well, because I'm in the Department of Tourism and most of the staff under these departments are male. Well, I think it's the same as Mbak Hayu.
Right.
But her department was pretty new. So it's younger generation, media socials and everything. But mine is more older generation. And some are in between of, well, I don't want to be led by a woman. But then I need to prove myself. And then I'm like, well, I'm the daughter of the Sultan. This is my right and this is something that given by the Sultan, the king. So I have to do a good job at this. So if you don't like it, then it's okay. But I will prove to you that we'll be better.
Okay.
So yes, we still have some setbacks, but we'll try to be a
guess
brave heart and
One of the good thing is
Yeah.
that because the palace is basically monarchy.
yes,
Right.
Right? I mean, like the being a governor, you are bound by the regulation of Indonesia, but inside the palace, it's still a monarchy. What the king says goes.
Yes.
yes.
And we are pretty much in the second rank. I
Okay.
mean, like our husbands, when we stand for the ceremonies, they are behind us.
Yeah, they walk behind us.
They walk
Okay.
behind us. So not every man can take that.
Yes.
Right.
But I guess when playing nice with this, you know, that kind of mindset doesn't work, we kind of throw our weight around like,
Yeah.
I'm the Anak Sultan.
Yes,
Exactly.
yeah.
Sometimes you have to pull that card out, right?
Yep.
That's whatever works. And I guess the idiom, you can change it, behind every strong woman is a man in this case. Right? I've got another little, it's not really a challenge. It's actually, I'm going to share with you because since we've been talking a lot about social media, we have some netizen talks, which is
Okay.
stuff that we've grabbed over the internet. I'm going to show you this first one, and perhaps you can explain it to me. This is from Gusti Hayu. It says,
Yes.
"Cuman aku yang bolos pas pelajaran how to sit like a princess kalian." This was the four of you, four out of the five sitting together, and I'm sure the viewers are looking right now. One of you is sitting differently, perhaps. Tell us about this picture. When was it taken?
Actually, Back then, I think I was 5 months pregnant.
Oh, really? Oh, could not tell at all. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's why.
I mean, like being a princess, people have certain expectations. You can see what happens with Kate Middleton and
Yes.
Meghan. Like the expectations of the others are kind of immense, and you have to be perfect all the time. Yeah.
Can't even breathe incorrectly,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get replies all the time, and we read this one. We caught one of them. Putri Raja juga manusia.
Yes.
Well, we think we may have found one of those. In fact, you posted it because it was hilarious, and even I caught this one. It says, yes. So this was a picture that was posted of. Can you tell us about the
Yes.
picture first of all?
Okay,
This is the gunungan.
Right. So the
actually,
gunungan that we talked about earlier.
the grebek,
Yeah.
and we have most of our annual ceremonies revolve around Islamic holidays.
Yes.
So one of them is a grebek, and the other one was Isra Miraj.
Okay.
Nothing can even more Islamic than Isra Miraj. So
Right.
it's telling the story of the prophet
Yes.
going to the heaven
Yeah.
on birth. So during that, we make like a bird from jeruk bali.
Okay,
We make
yeah.
bird, so and then we make kind of like a tree with flowers and fruits, and the bird on top of it. So it's symbolizing the bird and the heaven, the like a Garden of Eden something.
Okay.
The nest.
Yes, the
in the
nest.
heaven.
Okay.
And then that was being put in the mosque.
All right.
That was in April.
Okay.
December come along, and then some people spreading words in WhatsApp
Yeah.
that, oh look, there's a Christmas tree in the mosque.
Right.
Then one of
picture
those also, that's gunungan,
Yes.
like I mentioned earlier. They say like why does it look like a Christmas tree?
I grew up in Canada. This does not look like any Christmas tree I've ever seen in my life, by
yeah,
the way.
so-
Yeah. So somebody actually responded to
Yeah.
it, says itu bukan pohon Natal tapi gunungan buat acara. Yeah, anyway,
So-
it's used for
yes.
different ceremonies for
Yes.
different areas.
Some
Yeah.
people don't realize that the social media admins, they are people. You know, sometimes these netizens they deliberately being mean
Yes.
to get,
To get a-
attention,
to get-
attention for
To get a
themselves.
reaction.
Yes, and
Yeah.
to feel better about themselves.
Yes, true. Before we enjoy this delicious food, I want to ask you guys, did your father give each of you a special message? Because you all play different roles as well in regards to not only how you represent the monarchy, the royal palace, and the royal family, but as well the city of Yogyakarta in Indonesia.
You have to love the one that love you back, but you have to care deeply the people that hate you.
Wow, that is
That's from my father, and then from my mother, it's very woman empowerment. Men can be the head of the family. We are the neck. So
We decide
we
where
decide
the head
where the
Oh, wow.
head wants to go.
I thought of it that way.
the palace, the kingdom itself was built on several philosophies created by the first sultan. And my father explained that being a sultan is representing the physical embodiment of that philosophy.
Okay.
Right? So we have to be role models for others. That's
Like
one
it
of
or not.
one of that is that you have to care about people. Sometimes when people don't like us, I just want to be petty,
Yeah.
right?
We all do.
Yeah.
I can't do that apparently. Yeah, so we have to be role models for others because like we have our privileges, we have eyes looking at us.
I'm really glad you shared that, by the way, because that's something that we can all kind of implement in our lives. We don't have to be royalty to implement something like that to be better people and to make a better society. On that note, let's see. I'm getting hungry.
Yes.
We'll be right back with more Buddy Talk. Oh right, back here with us here on Buddy Talk again. Right now, I'm still with Gusti Bendoro, and where are we now exactly?
This is it's called Pagelaran.
Okay.
And we are in the middle of the temporary exhibition named Jayapatra
Okay, that's the particular theme of this exhibition. But you do this a couple of times a year.
Yes, twice a year.
Okay.
The first one is with the theme more general.
Okay.
So is it items or for like this? This is Jayapatra. It's the theme is what have Keraton done for Indonesia.
Oh wow! All right.
Yes.
So what do we have here? Let's start here.
Yes, so this is my grandfather. This is the Sri Sultan Hamengkubuwono IX. He is the first king during the Republic, the Democratic Republic, Indonesia. And then basically he become multiple, become the vice president, become the defense minister, and so on forth. But he actually, since small, he was studying in Netherlands.
I see.
Until he was summoned back here because his father is getting old and sick.
And he has to take over.
Yeah, and then he has to take over.
Okay. It's very interesting because there's a phrase, this is from him, is it?
Yes.
That's right.
And then here we have, because Jogja is right at the center of the Serangan Umum, the Sultan Hamengkubuwono IX is the one that has the idea of the Serangan Umum.
I see.
Because it was like sudden movement from the people in Jogja to kick out the VOC in that time.
Okay. This must be part of your passion as well, because knowing that you are Keraton Yogyakarta Special Minister of Tourism, so I guess doing these special exhibitions are something you hold near and dear to your heart.
Yes, it's not only that. The mission of our king, my father, is that how we can introduce history to the people again and again, but in a different form.
Okay.
So what we present in our temporary exhibition always changing.
Yeah.
And it's always something that dear to Keraton.
Okay.
Last time we have exhibitions on the textile.
Oh, nice.
So royal garments.
Right.
And that's something that not many people know. And then this theme actually Keraton for Indonesia, because this year governor is the king is the governor.
Right.
So in this year, in October, then he will become again the governor.
Ah, okay.
So this is important moment to remind people why Yogyakarta is a special region.
Definitely. Okay, wow, this thing is really old, right?
Yes, it's from 1970s.
Well, there you go.
1917, yes. And this is actually Aksara Jawa.
Oh,
so this
yeah.
is the original Javanese
Scripture,
letters.
that's
Yes.
right.
And the new version, we still use it in Keraton. So some paperwork are still in Bahasa Jawa.
That is so cool. I was recently met with a community that actually still practices and learns traditional Javanese scripture. I did not know they had a machine that typed those.
Yes, this is already 1914, and
Right.
some of our manuscripts are in Bahasa Jawa in this, but then it's translated to Bahasa Jawa.
Okay.
But the special one are written in Javanese language, but actually it's Dutch.
Oh, wow, okay.
So we have so many of it, and only 2 people that can read it.
That can actually read it and
Yes.
understand it. Unbelievable. Wow, so much history.
Yes.
I suppose one of the biggest challenges for everyone, not just for you, for tourism is the COVID-19 pandemic that we have just gone by the
Yes.
last 2 years. What are some of your strategies in order for you to kind of reintroduce tourism back into the world for Keraton Yogyakarta after the pandemic?
We now have like mini events. So we introduce again like dancing.
Right.
We introducing royal orchestras.
Okay, nice.
So we put it in that kind of media. So
Yes.
it's not the first one going like boom,
Yeah.
history.
Right.
But then we
It's
gradually.
history with a twist.
Yes.
It's fun history classes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Jogja have a special strategy during the COVID-19 because 80% of the people in Jogja are very dependent on tourism.
Absolutely.
So the government, the king as well, decide not to directly 100% close the region during the COVID. So the first time when Jakarta got hit, they shut down PPKM,
Right.
like everybody stay at home.
Restrictions on public activities.
Yes, but then in Jogja, we still maintain like small movement.
Right.
But then we remind them to
Pause.
follow the protocols or
Right.
you being closed.
Right. Right. And this has to be one of my favorite parts of it because I love classic cars. What are these?
This is Ford,
Okay.
and this is the Sultan Hamengkubuwono IX's car
His personal vehicle.
when he was Minister for Economic, Finance and Industry.
Oh.
So he have 3 roles at
At the time.
At the
yes.
time.
Okay.
and then this is his vehicle for going to work.
All right. Does it still work? Does it run?
It is,
It
yes.
does. Unbelievable. So you continue to maintain it to this day.
Yes, but only going front and then back, because nobody dares to take a ride to Malioboro.
Right, right. Well, I mean, that's in itself, the fact that it even starts is amazing to me. So
Yes.
we've got another one back there.
Yes,
as well.
this is a very special one,
Okay.
and this is RI2 cars.
Yes.
When Sultan Hamengkubuwono IX became the vice president
Wow.
of Suharto.
Cadillac.
Cadillac.
Love it. It's still in great shape, by the way.
It is. And the inside is so huge, all my sister can fit in there.
Even to this day.
Yes. And it still run as well.
Wow. I mean, it does take a lot of work. What happens to them when they're not on display?
They're always on display because
Okay,
this
they're
is
always
2 are museum items.
Yes.
So it's always on display either here or somewhere else in part of the museum. But it's
Very
always on
cool.
display.
Awesome.
And then we just started and then going move and back,
Right.
back down.
Well, since you've been so hospitable taking me throughout this tour of this museum, I believe my team and I have prepared a little something for you. Perhaps if you have a space on your somewhere in your home, you can put it up, but here, it's upside down. Perhaps you can have a look first and you can explain to me. Why did my team decide to put together a little painting of roller skates, it seems?
Yes, I used to be, me and Mbak Hayu,
Okay.
actually an athlete for rollerblade.
No way.
Yes,
Okay.
we start with 4 wheels
Right.
and then inline
You
skate.
did inline skating as well?
Yes.
Okay.
But when I was small.
All right, but do you
now-
still?
I can,
Okay.
but not for competition.
Not for competition, just for fun.
Yes, for
Well,
fun.
anyway, there you go. That's
Thank
from us.
you.
And thank you so much for taking us through this tour as well. I've certainly learned a lot because, you know, like you and your sister have said, a lot of what we know is the stuff that general knowledge, stuff that we can search on the internet. But it's not until you literally set foot until you can find out so much more about the history and the culture and the importance of everything here as well. Okay, so we're back outside of the exhibition now,
Yes.
and perhaps to some of the younger generation, they perhaps did not know that vehicles used to not have engines, but they used to be pulled by horses.
Yeah.
And behind us are many carriages that used to be horse-drawn,
Yes.
correct? So these are all restored, all in its original
Yes.
form.
It is in original
Amazing.
form. And some are from England, some are from Netherlands.
Right.
Exported back here. So different varieties. The one that are only for 2 people.
Mhm.
The one only have 2 wheels. There
Right.
are 4 wheels taken by 4 horses, 6 horses,
Okay.
all different types. Even we have also the one that for 6 people.
Right,
for the dancers.
the extra large ones.
Extra large.
I guess you guys will know now where the term horsepower actually comes from.
Yes.
Now, there's one in particular that is very special. It's to our right. Perhaps you can explain a little bit why this one is so special.
This is special because, well, the last time I was there, I was 11 years younger.
Okay.
In a wedding dress.
Wow, this is the
But
one you got
not
married
in a white gown.
Okay.
Not in a white gown. In more
Traditional Japanese.
Japanese wedding
Correct.
attire.
And this pulled you as the happy couple through the city.
Yes.
Right.
Go to the Malioboro Street, will fill with a lot of people in there, already waiting from 5 o'clock in the morning. And it's not only people from Java, from Jogja, people from Manado, people from Sumatra,
Really?
from Sulawesi, they all come wanting to see the royal family, the royal entourage.
Right. So one final thing I want to ask you, in regards to tourism, if somebody had never visited Yogyakarta before, but they've been to the royal palace now and seen everything, you as a special appointed minister of tourism, what is a must-place visit?
Wow, Museum Keraton Yogyakarta is a must. That's
Okay.
first of all.
All right.
And then second, we have Desa Wisata Ngelanggeran,
Okay.
which already been awarded as one of the best in UNWTO last year.
Right.
And then for people that are maybe much older, they can go to much calmer in Desa Wukirsari.
Okay. I think that one's for me. It's my
I think
age
you
talking.
go to Desa Ngelanggeran, it's beautiful.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your
Yes.
time as well as your hospitality. It's been great to have a more inside look to everything here that has to do with Keraton Yogyakarta. But unfortunately, we are out of time here for this particular episode of Buddy Talk. But we hope to see you again next time. We hope you enjoyed yourself. My name is Paul Palelli signing off for now. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.